This train had a strange passenger. A man in a sharp suit frowned, looking at seat 14B. A boy sat there, his clothes tattered, shoes falling apart, a notebook clutched tight in his small hands. The businessman scoffed. Unbelievable. Now they'll let anyone on. People around him laughed, sneering at the boy like he was some stray who didn't belong. But then the lights in the train flickered. The conductor's radio crackled with panic. Attention, an emergency lockdown has been triggered. And the boy slowly raised his head. His voice was quiet but chilling. They're coming for me. The cabin froze. No one understood what he meant. Until the train suddenly screeched, slowing, and outside the windows, black SUVs with flashing lights surrounded the tracks. Agents, in full tactical gear, stepped out, forming a perimeter dot, and then a voice boomed through the radio. Prodigy, 14. Welcome back. We've been waiting. The boy's name was Noah, only 12 years old, hair uncombed, face pale, eyes too tired for his age. His hoodie was torn, his backpack covered in faded stickers. Everyone thought he was just another street kid, maybe a runaway, but no one in that cabin had a clue who he really was. The train was packed with people who thought they were important businessmen, flashing watches, lawyers reading contracts, influencers filming TIK2KS. Noah didn't belong in their eyes. They saw him curled against the window, notebook clutched like it was his only friend. The businessman in the suit. Mr. Collins leaned toward another passenger and whispered loudly. Probably used his last coins to sneak on board. Pathetic. The woman beside him giggled, snapping a photo of Noah to post. Caption: when the wrong crowd gets first class. Her phone lit up with laughing emojis. A college kid with headphones muttered, bet he smells like the street. A flight attendant like train host passed by, dropping a water bottle in front of Noah a little too hard. His smirk saying, you don't belong here. Noah didn't respond. His eyes stayed down. His fingers only tapped once on his notebook, like a code no one else could. Here. The judgments spread through the train like wildfire. Passengers whispering, some laughing out loud, some rolling their eyes. To them, he was nothing. Then the intercom broke. The conductor's voice was strained. Ladies and gentlemen, remain calm. We've received a level red warning from Homeland Security. The words level red hung in the air like poison. Panic erupted. Phones came out. People pressed to windows. A woman shrieked, is it terrorists? Another man cursed, I paid for first class. I swear I'll sue if this is a drill. The influencers started live streaming. Guys, the train is on lockdown. Look at this, so insane. And then Noah whispered again, barely moving his lips. They're not here for you. They're here for me. Colin shot up, pointing, what kind of nonsense is that? You, who do you think you are? His voice carried, making everyone turn toward Noah. Some passengers laughed nervously. The kids lost it. Others mocked. What is he, some TikTok prankster? Noah finally lifted his head. His eyes dark, steady, unreadable. He said nothing more, but he didn't need to, because outside, the SUVs closed in tighter. Snipers appeared on rooftops. And then silence. A deep hum rolled through the ground, like thunder waiting to break. The businessman mocked louder, desperate to cover his fear. You're a nobody. You don't even belong on this train. But then, Noah's notebook slid open. Inside were strange equations. Symbols, blueprints that looked nothing like a child's doodles. One passenger, retired Professor, stared, his hands trembling. This is impossible, he whispered. Seen these before. These are classified defense algorithms. No child should know this. Gasps rippled. The professor leaned closer, his voice shaking. This boy, he's the reason our country still stands. They called him Prodigy 14. Genius who solved codes grown men couldn't crack. And then, they said he vanished. The cabin erupted. Shouts, disbelief, nervous laughter. No way, he's just a kid. This is fake. A stunt. Noah didn't argue. He just stood, clutching his notebook, and walked calmly to the intercom panel. Every phone pointed at him, streams blowing up with comments. What's happening? Is this real? Who is this kid? He pressed the button. His voice was steady, not a trace of fear. This is Prodigy 14. Confirm code clearance. And the response came instantly, shaking every soul on board. Prodigy 14 confirmed. Mission protocol active. The president sends his regards. The train exploded with chaos, people shouting, filming, some crying, others frozen in silence. Collins, pale now, slumped back in his seat, his arrogance drained. The influencer dropped her phone, her live stream ending mid-scream. The professor covered his face, whispering prayers. Outside, helicopters appeared, the kind reserved for heads of state. The agents saluted as the train rolled to a halt. Noah didn't look back at the passengers, didn't demand respect, didn't explain himself. He only clutched his notebook tighter, eyes locked forward. The door slid open. A man in a black suit stepped in, his presence enough to silence the cabin. Sir, he said, bowing his head to the boy, the nation awaits. Gasps rippled. Some passengers buried their faces, ashamed of what they had said. Others sat frozen, their worldview shattered. Noah simply nodded, walking past them all, past the sneers, the laughter, the mockery. Each step was quiet, but it felt louder than thunder. He didn't need to tell them who he was. The world outside already knew. For everyone who has ever been judged by your clothes, your seat, your silence, remember this: power doesn't always look like power. Sometimes it looks like a child with a notebook, waiting for the right moment to remind the world who they are. Where are you watching from?